Hello, welcome to the VOD. There should be timestamps in the thingy. What's it? I normally faff about for a bit at the start, so feel free to make use of them. Right, let's go live. And we are done with the connecting to chat bit, and we seem to be live. Alright, let's ping people on Discord. Yes, I love mentioning 44 plus people. Alrighty. Well, I'll give it a few minutes for... Oh, hey Tech Tester, Matt. Yes. And Alex, of course you're here early, Alex, good to see you. Yes, I'll give it a few moments for people to show up, and then I'll explain what the deal with these is. Because you might notice I have a shitload of RAM here. But yes, I'm a little bit late. I'll give people a few minutes. Is the audio alright? Matt says won't be able to stay long. Best of luck though. Well, thank you. Audio's good. Good to know. Thank you. I think I had it exactly how it was set before, but you can never be sure. Things change themselves. Right, well. Let's not make anyone wait too long. I want to get on with it. So, you might notice. So now, to be fair, that bit of the tray is not full, but I have a whole load of DDR2 there. Those are all Micron 512 megabit D, generally known as D9s. Those are all the rejects, basically. So those all do, I think it was less than 540 megahertz, so less than DDR2 1080, at 444 timings and 2.2 volts. This tray, they do between 240, so DDR2 1080, to actually over... Did I say 240? I meant 540. Sorry, I didn't sleep that well last night. I'm tired and I'm stumbling over words as a result. But I think the best sticks in here will do 1120, DDR2 1120, at 444 2.2 volts. So that is what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, is going through all of these. And with that explanation out of the way, let's get rid of the rejects, and I really should have figured out where I was going to put that tray down. It's a big bloody tray as well. That'll do, in the corner. So, motherboard. Let's raise the camera up a little bit. We have a Lanparty. It's a P35 Lanparty. This is actually the board that I did Sub-Zero on first. Way back with dry ice. Not counting a little bit of messing around at a meet. I'm going to use Ballistix tracers for this because they're good enough and they look cool. So I've written out my binning notes on them. That's S4 there stands for slot 4. They're not my best, but they do have cool flashing lights. If I put that in the wrong way around, I have. Is that one in the wrong way around too? Yep. Okay. So, how is everybody else today? It's been a heck of a couple of weeks to be reading the news. It's, yeah. Not happy times at the minute, not happy times. Right, now. Hey Ava. Doing alright back home for spring break? That's cool. Tech tested introducing my friend to LN2 tonight. Oh, cool. Sorry, I keep defaulting to tech tested now, having made a conscious effort to say that rather than Matt so that people knew who I was talking to. I'll be back to calling you Matt at some point. God, I don't even want to say what I'm laughing at on stream. It is, yeah. Right. Now, I need to try and figure this out so that I can have the postcode visible if I can. I've not thought this through. I'll figure out a second camera for that. That's what I'll do. So, RAM cooler, probably a necessity. Actually, I don't think I've tested this RAM cooler. I think this one's fresh off an eBay listing. It's a little bit tight at the minute. Just loosen it. Also, hello, Tim the Enchanter. Right. Now I need to figure out the camera angle so that you can still see the LEDs on the tracers. That looks about right. Yeah, I'll swing it around a little bit because once we're on the system screen, this side's going to be cut off anyway. Yeah, that should be alright. And I'm bringing a big box and my little webcam. You know, a better streamer would have already set this up. Right. And it's... ah, brilliant. Okay, at least that's working. That's good. I really need some way of giving that even more height. Ooh. I have the D-Lid Dimate box as well. Let's pop it on top of that. There, look at that. That's good. Right. So, the system and camera view. Music is too soothing, system. Sorry about that. I'll actually start doing something in a minute, that'll help. Because I think that is everything set up and I can stop faffing around. You might notice, no CMOS battery. This board is great. You know what, this is quite a slow track, hold on. Not that it's all quite soothing to be fair. I don't know, maybe we need a little soothing with how things are going at the moment. God, do you think if we just played like some chill improvised guitar music, like Into the Kremlin, Putin might calm down? That's my one political joke for the stream. I've got it out of my system, and it's not even like there's no nuance to it, and I don't care to try because fuck me. What was I saying? Yes, no CMOS battery, right? This board behaves really, really well without a CMOS battery. Some LAN parties, they hate not having a CMOS battery. They hate having a CMOS battery that's even a bit low. This board just loves it. It will retain settings absolutely fine while the power is on. And then if you cut power, like that, it loses the settings, right? But this is a LAN party, which means that it has a thing that retains the previous settings. So I'll fire that up now. And if we go to... Why is it the moment I start streaming the fan on the GPU's being noisy? Or is it those? Oh, it's those. It's the RAM fan. Damn. Okay, well. So we have this load last bootable setting, which is an excellent feature. So the last thing I was doing was messing around a bit at 3600. Not done anything with the memory yet. I'm really not happy with how noisy that RAM fan is being. I find it annoying. Let's do something different for the RAM. This will do. Does rather render the tracer LEDs a bit pointless, but just need a zip tie to keep it in place, and then I'll actually be able to start overclocking. Right. One zip tie. Yeah, this track's also really slow. Hey Razors, yep, that's a DFI board. Lanparty P35, great board. Right, that fan's not going to be any quieter, but at least it will be doing something with the noise. You know what? It's very quiet at the moment because I haven't plugged it in. There we go. Alright. So let's load the last bootable, and there we are. We've got a nice 3600 there. Memory, everything is on auto right now. So let's load that up and get ourselves a baseline. Okay, that's interesting. It was working fine with the other RAM. What's going on here? Is it trying to do something different with the RAM? That might be it. Because it's on auto, and I was using different RAM when I was testing it out earlier. So maybe it's setting it tighter or something. Let's see what this does when I boot in. I agree with Ava. Definitely worth grabbing a postcode reader card. Okay, no, that's normal. It's behaving itself. Good, good, good. So let's see what the RAM was autoing to. Flat 5, so that ought to be fine just generally. Yeah, alright, well. Let's do ourselves some SuperPi 1M. And get a baseline. Razors says payday has come, so I can finally do some eBay spends. Yeah, I would definitely put a postcard high up on that list. They're not very expensive and they're very handy. Alright, so the different RAM multiplier has hurt us there. So we've got 17.953, which is almost a full second worse than I got when I was pre-testing, which is quite funny. 953. So I'm not going to bother screenshotting and saving that because that is atrocious, but we can see what we can do to get it higher. Maybe it prefers the other memory slots. This is a big part of why I'm starting on air, is I don't know what I'm doing with memory on this board yet. So I mean, the RAM should be capable of 1200. Let's not be too aggressive right away. So 900, and let's set 412. That's what it's binned for. And voltage, we're at 2.2 volts. Sorry, already on the RAM. That ought to work. That should not be difficult. I said it shouldn't be difficult, and now it's not working. That's concerning. Alright. Okay. So there's a couple of options here. Maybe it prefers the inner slots. Maybe it doesn't like Ballistix, maybe it doesn't like traces in particular. I've definitely got that the right way round, haven't I? Yeah. Having difficulty keeping it lined up straight. I'm going there. There you go. Not sure about the fan position right now. Whatever, don't care. As long as it doesn't eat the cable. Tim the Enchanter says this about sums up my DDR2 OC experience on an EP45 DS3P. Yeah, this has no right not to work. I'm really not asking a lot here. Well, that's looking happier. Okay, so it might just prefer the inner slots. That's fine. That's why we do this kind of testing. Then the Enchanter says it's a Giga P45. It did 620 FSB, but is really awful at memory compatibility. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Tim, you're Kif Crocker on Discord, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, the single rank kit Ballistix set on eBay that you pointed me to was interesting. One of the sticks was pretty good. It did DDR2 1060 at 44412. Has that crashed? What? Oh, I did. Why did I do 32M? What am I? No, Ava. I did not mean to run 32M. What was I saying? Yeah, so my plan was to take that stick, throw it in the board, and, you know, use set FSB, which I've not used for DDR2 frequency before, yet. You know, get a decent score, you know, try and get over 1400, and then be like, oh, thanks for pointing me to that kit. You know, like with a strong frequency score, would not do it. Just wouldn't do it. I think the single rank Ballistix PCB might have either a voltage scaling issue or a frequency wall. Possibly a frequency wall around 1400, which I think is about the same that the like single rank JDEC PCB has one. Tim says, still not bad for the price you won it at. Yeah, it's very cheap. I'm glad to. It's data. I like data. 17.157. That's much better, but not great. Still, I'll screenshot that anyway. I need to turn off idling, that's going to annoy me otherwise. Let's do an SPD tab as well. Oh, numlock. Right. Alex asks, what's your goal for 1M on air? I don't really have a goal per se. Because I have no idea what to expect is the thing. I'm just going to go at it until I feel like I've probably found, like, the limit. Alright, so it's not going to do 1200 at flat 4. It's binned, but it's not that fucking binned. But it should do it at flat 5. Hopefully, assuming the board's capable. Also, I need to try and get the fan repositioned so it's actually useful. I'm a bit worried that the chipset's not getting any airflow. That's going to start to become a problem at some point. Do I have another fan that I could stick in there? And the answer's yes. I always have more fans. Oh, that's not... Okay. It's not happy. Yeah, that'll do. Where do I plug it in? Just gonna have to plug it in here in front of the postcode. Hopefully it doesn't block anything. For fuck's sake. That's no good. There we go. It's the postcard trying to launch Internet Explorer. I don't know, I think it's giving an example of something. Right. Now I've got more cooling, I'll give the chipset more voltage to start with. And while I'm messing around, there was something that was annoying me and I wanted to do something about it, and I can't remember what it was. So I'm just going to flick through the BIOS and do all of the little things that I generally like to do. Oh, it was numlock, wasn't it? Right, that's on, okay. Alright, well, let's go with that. I'm hoping that just nudging up the chipset voltage helps. It's doing better already. Okay, that's comforting. Right, Ava, you said a minute ago you're curious how much of a gain I get from minimising the SuperPi window should be significant. How would one go about doing that? I mean, obviously there's a minimise button, but like, just... Fuck me. Okay, apparently going to 1 to 2 on the mem has made a big difference. Oh, that's what was annoying me. It was the idling. I'll have to look at that. Ah, no. Okay, not that stable. Drag the window until you can't see the text anymore. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Then use Alt-C to start. Yeah, yeah. Good shout. I'll give that a go in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to give it more chipset voltage. It's, you know, it's an older chipset. It's fine. It can take it. And at 1200 might be asking a bit much for lower voltage. Is there anywhere I can tell it to stop bloody idling the bloody CPU? Other than disabling like C1E? Don't think there is. That's the IDE chip, isn't it? I can disable that. Tim says thermal management. If thermal management is making the CPU go to idle, then I've got a problem. Like, it could be thermal management, but I hope it's not. Alright, so let's do 1M normally, and then I'll try minimizing it afterwards. Or like dragging it off screen rather. Hopefully it doesn't crash on screenshot this time. Although if it does, that's at least data. Looking better so far. $16.765. I'm happy with that. That's a bigger improvement than I was expecting to get, to be honest. Already, like I don't know what I was expecting, but like that's good. Title update. 16.765. Tim says, if I remember rightly, it's Intel EIST or something that does the downclocking. That sounds right, yeah. I think I've disabled everything like that there is. EIST is Enhanced Intelligent Speed Step something or other, right? Like, something to do with speed step. You'd think there would be a Windows power management thing that I could... Well, anyway. I'm going to try dragging it off screen right now. But obviously this is the second run of the boot, so the data's not going to be perfect. I'm also a little bit worried that the pi calculation... oh. Okay, well, now I get to... Hold on, how many B-sods have we had? I need a B-sod counter. We've had at least 3, haven't we? Let's call it 3. Alright. I'm hoping this doesn't help much because I don't want to like have it off screen the whole time. So once I hit OK on pi calculation is done, it's going to take me out of the result dialog thing. So that's no good. I mean, I suppose I can at least see, like, what does it say it was? But it's still saying 16.765 is the best. So I guess that means it probably wasn't any better. Which we can take some comfort in, I suppose. Alex says, IRQL BSOD while running memtest, that's a memory issue, right? In general, if you have a BSOD while running memtest, it's probably a memory issue. That's my general take. Like, unless you're extremely uncertain about your like CPU overclock, in which case, why haven't you dialed that back? Like, generally my attitude to BSODs is I don't set too much store by what the code is. Like, think more about what did I change? What do I know is stable? What do I know is untested and might not be stable? That's what I'd suggest. So, yeah, if you're testing a memory overclock and it BSODs, it's probably memory. Right. So, I guess let's see if I can get the memory to run tighter. Let's try 544, and that's definitely going to need more voltage. So, in fact, what's it been for? It's been for 1080. Hold on. I don't know if the scaling is linear, but if I do 1080, what would it be? It would be, hold on, 2.2 divided by 1080 times 1200 is 2.44 recurring. So if the scaling is linear, which it's probably not, then flat 4 should be possible at 2.5 volts. Or 2.45 volts even. Yeah. Razors is going to get me on a rant about modern UI design. Good old common sense. Press a button and it doesn't work, Control Z your actions and try something else. Yeah, very much good old common sense that. And a lot of modern user interfaces are really unfriendly to that kind of thing, which is really annoying. Like, especially stuff where you can like drag around and rearrange your user interface. There's no clear undo button for like rearranging the user interface, and that's like the worst thing to do by accident. And there's no obvious way to just be like, oh, I didn't want to do that, undo. And it really, like, if you're using like software like OpenShot or GIMP, for example, and it's like you accidentally like close something that has a button that you need, and you have no, you know, you're just learning the software, you've got no idea how to get it back. That annoys me. Like, you know, you hit Control Z and it just undoes whatever the last like bit of drawing or, you know, video editing or whatever was. Razor says, the thing I hate is the auto config out the box. God knows what was changed, and even clearing CMOS won't work. Can't they just have a default mode? Yeah, yeah. Alex asks, what's the difference between TRFC and TRFC 2/4? TRFC 2 and 4 are for partial self-refreshers. So 2 is if you're refreshing half the RAM, 4 you're refreshing like a quarter of it. It varies as to whether they're actually used. So often you can just set them all to the same value, like to the full TRFC, and that means it doesn't do the partial self-refreshers ever. And that seems to perform about as well or sometimes better, which is annoying. But yeah, in principle, it's a way for the memory controller to opportunistically refresh part of the RAM when it's not busy with anything else. That's the theory. Right. Also, hello, Nuke the Power. Ooh. 16.547. Let's save a screenshot before I do a title update because I'm not convinced that it's stable. But yes, 1200 flat 4. I'm very happy. Nuke the Power says, I see a DFI, any progress till now? Yeah, it's a P35 Lanparty, and I'm running DDR2 1200 flat 4, which I think counts as progress. I'm very happy with that. That's the main thing. So I've not tried to push FSB up at a lower multi yet. Right now it's just pushing what the memory can do. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's specifically GMH, but yeah, it's one of them. Pretty heavily binned as well. 16547. Do you reckon it might not be 100% stable? Did that actually save? Yeah, that's saved. Okay, that counts. So, the camera's quite close to the system, so I don't know how easily I can show this on camera, but I have a giant tray of RAM. You know what? Hold on. Yeah, he knows what it is, Tim. He's asking if that's what I'm using. Let me just... I'll swing the camera around a bit so you've got a bit more space to work with. This is my tray of rejects. Right, swing the camera back round. Right, I'm going to keep using the reset button because it's quite unstable, so I don't trust it to survive like a normal reboot. I'm happy with the scaling though. I just noticed pre-charge daily. Yeah, so let's try reducing our pre-charge daily a little bit. Let's see if that works. Of course, if the pre-charge daily is too low, sometimes it can run, but the performance will actually be worse. But, I mean, we're running a benchmark, so we'll find out. You know, if the score's lower, then we know that the performance is worse. That's how that works. Oh yeah, if anyone's interested, I think I've got the install fairly light, but yeah, I know this is all just manually stripped. Anyway, SuperPi in real time. Razor says, I still have a build plan in mind. A retro LAN PC with that board, Pentium 945, 3GB RAM, and 2 GTS 450s and SLI. My idea being it was a build focused more on aesthetics rather than getting an E4400, better RAM and a GTX 470 or something. If I can find someone who posts the case I want, then I can finally make a fun UV build. What case are you looking for? Got 16.531, is that an improvement? I think that's a small improvement. Yeah, it's a small little improvement. Nuke the Power says the DFI blood irons are pretty rare. The few in the database are very good. I wonder how good they are. I have two DFI blood iron P35 boards. The BIOS looks basically exactly the same as these. I suspect that they're pretty much the same, to be honest. Like, even just the layout, like, other than not... I don't think it has VRM heatsinks, but I think it's basically the same. I'm really happy with how well this is scaling, by the way. Nuke the Power says, wow, P45 even. Did I say P45? I might well have said P45. I meant P35. Alright. I have no idea. This is one complaint that I have about the DFI BIOS, is I have no idea what these timings currently are. And because I don't really have a feel for DDR2, I have no idea what's reasonable. Like, I don't know, is 0 reasonable for TRRD? Probably not. I'm going to try 2 and see what happens, though. That's probably, like, that's the lowest that seems sane to me. And because the recovery on this board, like, I can just power cycle it. There's no battery, so that will clear the CMOS, and then I can just reload the CMOS. And because it's got that really, really good, like, saving of previous settings, I'm fairly comfortable trying something that I think might be a bit silly. So we'll see if it works. Oh. 16.547. I feel like is that slightly slower? Or is that's exactly the same? Hold on. Did I forget to do a title update? Yeah, 16.531 is actually my PB. Razor says, no, CMOS battery is a good idea. If you run something silly like voltage, the initial boot after a power cycle won't kill it. Yeah, that's one of the good things about it. And as you say, yeah, you can just load a profile. It's fine, which is nice. I'm just going to rerun 1M just to see if it goes any better this time. I should probably be paying attention to initial values or something. I feel like loop 14 always takes a bit of a while. Feels like it sort of stalls a bit there. This is looking like RRD2 is actually slightly slower, if anything. I mean, on the plus side, it hasn't crashed yet, touch wood. Oh, there's 531 again. Okay, so it's maybe just not made a difference. Alright, well. Ah, that was the shutdown button, not the reset button. They're not labelled. That's one complaint I have. Ava says initial doesn't matter much. My 15.906 score has the same initial you're getting. Hold on, you have a 15.906 score? Also, wait, what's the board doing? There it is, okay. Oh wow. Okay, fuck me. Oh, that's on DDR3, okay. I'll add that to the leaderboard once I'm... actually... Hold on. I'll add you to the stream title. How about that? And then I'll sort the leaderboard out in a bit. I guess technically that means I have a target of sorts. But I don't think I'm getting that memory speed on DDR2. Certainly not on ambient. Probably not dual channel either. It'd be really funny if I did. I'm not sure what to make of TRRD1 booting. Because there's part of me that's like, is it even setting? Is it real? What is reality? Nuke the Power says maybe 0 is reasonable. Yeah, exactly. Razors says, found the case, Antec Landboy, either that or a Thermaltake Level 10 GT. I've heard the name Landboy, but I don't remember what it looks like. The Level 10 GTs, that's a really cool case. It's really fucking crazy looking. That was 16.531 again. I'm gonna give it another couple of reruns and just see if it gets any better than that. Ava says, unless DDR2 is different from DDR3, below 4 shouldn't be real, but setting it lower might cause hidden timings to auto lower, and therefore improve performance. I think DDR2 should be different. Surely they increased the burst length for DDR3. Hold on. I'm googling DDR2 burst length right now. Huh. DDR2 burst length of 4 or 8. Is that the same? I think DDR3 is normally an 8-bit burst, unless you're using burst chop, I want to say. Whereas DDR2, I think, would normally be a 4-bit burst, and a 4-bit burst, TRRD of 2 ought to be real, I think. One more rerun and then I'm rebooting, and I'm going to try setting it to 0 and see what happens. It would also be quite interesting to try setting it excessively high, actually, and see if it hurts performance. It feels like it's more consistent at 531 rather than 547. But yeah, so my understanding is that the reason that TRRD below 4 isn't real is because it takes 4 clock cycles to transmit the 8-bit burst anyway. But I'm not 100% sure if that's perfectly accurate to how RAM works. Yeah. I'm going to try setting it to like 5, and I'll see if that makes it noticeably worse. Actually, no, let's be sensible. Let's set it to 4 and see if that makes it any worse. Because if below 4 isn't real, then it shouldn't make a difference. But if 2 is real, then 4 should be a lot worse, right? You'd think. That said, is there a T4 for DDR2? I'm not sure if there is. If there's a T4 and I've not set it, then RRD isn't going to make as much difference. Priority. Five v one again. If this is 531 again, I'm going back into BIOS and I'm looking for T4. And if there's T4, I'm setting that. And if there's no T4, then I'm going to set RRD to like 6. Which button was it? Yeah, that was the right one, I think. What have we got? Prejudged to ACT, RFC, performance level, that's actually a chipset timing, sort of analogous to RTLs. I don't see anything that looks like T4. Alright, let's try like 6 for RRD. If this is slower, then that tells us that RRD is real. But RRD below 4 maybe isn't real? And that would also imply that maybe we're running with a higher burst length. So maybe we could see if there's a burst length setting. Because it is entirely possible that it's just running at a burst length of 8, assuming that that is actually supported on DDR2, which I guess it probably is. because it does. There's mention of it, which makes me think that DDR2 can run at a burst length of 8, and if it is doing that, then TRRD below 4 wouldn't be real, I think. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I'm being trolled. Well, I have to save that because it's a better fucking score. I love loosening timings and getting faster scores as a result. It's great. I'm going to rerun that while I title update. It's such a small difference. I mean, I'd be willing to say RRD just doesn't matter with the other settings that I have at the moment, and it was a lucky run. I think that was just a lucky run. That's quite funny though. Razor says I can't even tell where the score is. So the score is the final time, so I'll let this finish, which will take a few more seconds. Alright, so the score is that time there, 16.531 seconds. So it's the final time along the bottom. Hopefully that's legible on stream. But yeah, it's the time where it says pi value output and all of that. Yeah, it's a time thing. Right, well. So RRD is fake, but let's set it to 4 because whatever. I'm just going to be silly. I'm just going to set the timing to 2, see what happens. Just minimum timing, why not? I seem to have made it freeze on the post screen. So that's good, at least we know that timing's real. Alright, CMOS reloaded, load last bootable setting. And this is why I like this board. Okay, so if 2 was unreasonable, let's try 4. Well, it's not frozen on the post screen. Reloading the OS? Looks like it. Maybe. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think it's It might be something to do with disabling fast user switching support or something, but it feels like it's on that Windows is starting up screen for like just long enough to make me nervous every time. Come on. Maybe I shouldn't be getting into these weeds right now. Maybe I should be pushing memory clock. 547, yeah, it's worse. Yeah, you know what? That was the wrong button again, whatever. I don't like to put it through shutdown when I think the memory might be unstable, just on the basis that the shutdown process is like potentially fiddling with system files, but I do have an image of the operating system. So if it does get corrupted, it's no big deal. Okay, so let's go back to auto on the memory timings, other than these ones. Let's loosen those out a bit, and let's try less core clock. Yeah, more FSB, same. Actually, if we're doing the same memory clock, yeah, so different memory divider, but that's the same memory clock, same core clock, more FSB. Let's see if that works. Because more FSB and then more memory clock if we can, that's going to be what makes a real difference. Oh, the fan on the 210 is stuck. Hold on, there we go. One of the little quirks of that graphics card, like that specific one, the fan on it keeps getting stuck. Oh. Hold on, did that B-SOD loading the OS? Let's see what it does this time. Nope, we have... Oh, yeah, no, okay. So that's either Northbridge or VTT. That's... Is VTT still at default? Okay, let's give it more VTT. Yes, okay. I'm in. Please be faster. That's significantly faster, that's great. Save the score. So, I always feel weird about memory multipliers. Like, I feel weird about stuff that isn't 1-to-1 or 1-to-2, and there's no actual logical justification for it. but clearly, like, this is working great. So, yeah. 16.203. At this rate, I might get under 16 seconds, which is great because I was not expecting to. I didn't know what was reasonable, but I knew I had like 17.1 seconds, and I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, efficiency would do like half a second or something, but no, it's doing loads. I'm actually really closing in on Ava's score. Right, well, do I dare to try more memory clock? Hold on. I think I may have confused it by starting it back up again too quickly. Ava says, I think with 450 FSB and 900 mem I can do sub 15.8, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but yeah. From the scaling I've been getting so far, yeah, you'd think so. This fan is going to annoy me. Come on. Ooh, that's an idea. If I zip tie the PSU cable up there, that will hold the fan at a better angle. That's what I'll do. There we go, and that should help to hold the fan up. Right. I really love this board. I love how well it works. Like, being able to clear CMOS this easily and then just load the last booted setting makes it so nice to work with. Right, so I was threatening to try a higher memory clock, so we'll start with just looser timings and see if that works. I mean, 1440 is really fucking aggressive for DDR2. Like, in fact, I think if this works, it would be a new personal best for DDR2 frequency. So I'm not necessarily expecting it to work. Don't dang me because it hasn't worked yet. Give me a dang if it works. Which so far it hasn't. Which is to be expected. I mean, you know, I'd feel silly if I didn't try it, right? Yours asks, does mem help 1M on these? Yes. The answer to that is yes. Also, hello. It's asking a hell of a lot to try to, like... Okay, I've not seen it do that before. Maybe it didn't fully clear CMOS yet. No, I've got the power for a bit longer. It's asking a hell of a lot to try and do 1440 benchable. It's really not realistic at all. But yeah, of course D9s. I want to do it. I want it to work. I want to try it. Yeah. So that didn't work. So let's try. I think the timings are fine. Yeah, what is it? 1200 to 1440 is plus 240, which is 20%, and yeah, it's plus 20% frequency and 25% looser timings. So that should be fine. So voltage-wise, I reckon more Northbridge core voltage might help. Does it ever go red? No, it doesn't. So yeah, let's just try stepping up Northbridge core voltage. So trying 1.5 this time. Yoz says that looks like a Lanparty, so nice. Yeah, it's a P35 Lanparty. There might also be something with clock skews that makes it happier running those memory settings. I want to try and make it work. It would be such a flex to be like benching over like DDR2 1400. It's completely unrealistic, but like it'd be so cool. Razor says, I really want 1440 to work big PP points. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to toast the board, so I'm not going to be too aggressive, but... Okay, that didn't clear the CMOS yet. Give it a few seconds. There we go. I need to make some kind of shade for the card. That might make it more legible. Okay. Let's just be really aggressive here. If that doesn't work, it's not going to work. Or at least it's not going to work just by pushing Northbridge core voltage. I mean, to be fair, if it scales linearly with Northbridge core voltage, what voltage would we expect if we need 1.45 and we're doing plus 20%? 1.45 times 1.2, we would expect it to need 1.74 volts. If attainable memory clock scales linearly with Northbridge voltage, which is... there's no reason to think it would, but yeah. Actually, let's give that a little bit longer to make sure it can clear. No harm trying. I mean, I know people run X48 at like 1.8 volts on ambient. Alright, see you later, Tim. Let's give that a little bit longer. There's CMOS clearing to some gentle guitar. Alright, come on. There we go. Yeah, okay. Because it would be very funny if it worked, I am going to try like the linear Northbridge core voltage. Wrong way. So that would be 1.74. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to stop trying. Lo-fi CMOS wave to tighten your timings too. Nice. Okay, yeah, that's not working, so I give up on tighter time on higher memory clock for now. Let's give that a bit longer to clear properly. So I suppose back to FSB. See if we can get higher FSB, and then tighter timings again, I guess. I know, it'd be interesting. I mean, we're running flat 4 at 1200, which is a fucking flex already, frankly. Might be interesting to see if we can do anything better than that. There's also the read delay timing. I've no idea what that is stock, but that timing can make a big difference. That's not behaving like it's fully cleared. Razors asks, could you fiddle with FSB and try 1400? Maybe, yeah. I'll have to figure out. I mean, 3600 is a really nice target frequency. Because it's like you can just drop the you can drop the seat, and it's words. Faxes of 3600 include 12, 10, I think 9, 8, and 6. So like, there are a lot of different CPU multipliers that you can use, which is really handy. Like, without your CPU clock being like a little bit low. I don't know how core bound it is. Like whether just actually reducing the core clock would be a good idea if it helps to run higher memory speed. I've got no idea, honestly. What I'm going to try to do now is we'll go down to 9x, and that would mean 400 FSB, which gives us the tantalising prospect of running DDR2 Elite. But for now, let's drop down to... Oh, we can do 1200 again. Sure, let's go with that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if this works initially. I don't know, because I raised VTT last time we did an FSB increase, and that was needed. But I just raised it by like an arbitrary amount. We're getting 00, which implies to me that it might need even more VTT. Razors says a lot of my kits are 800 MHz and I'd like to see which one breaks 1200 or more. It's a platform I do want to experiment with RAM on. You can learn a lot when the interface is a bloody simple AMA BIOS GUI. Yeah, AMI BIOS, sorry. Yeah. I mean, if there's any kits you're interested in, are you in my Discord? I mean, to be fair, you can ask me in Matt's Discord if you want, but I've got an identifying RAM channel in my Discord, which is like specifically for the... because I like identifying RAM, basically. So I would be happy to take a look at any kits that you've got and you think might be interesting and have a guess at what they might be. I'm not like the biggest expert on these things. I mean, the biggest expert for DDR2 probably Raspberry Hex. But I have a general idea. Least of all because I listen to everything Raspberry Hex says. Alright, so... what are we doing? There we are. Let's just try more VTT again and see if that works. If it doesn't need more VTT, it might need more Northbridge, but 400 FSB shouldn't be that hard on the Northbridge. Razor says, my interesting kits are probably my Spec Ops edition and XMS2. From old forums, I heard the XMS clock's quite high and the Spec Ops is good for tight timings. And I wanted to bench the difference between the opposite ends. Yeah, it depends on the kit. OCZ Spec Ops DDR2 is unusual. Corsair XMS2 can be anything from complete rubbish to really amazing. Just depending on what it is. Some of the older XMS kits are actually really good for tight timings, funnily enough. And then some of the newer ones can clock quite well. I think the Corsair's PCBs, I think, are a little bit better than like the standard PCBs, even if they're not as good as Crucial's. The dual rank Ballistix PCB that Crucial made is, as far as I'm aware, the best. Annoyingly, it's better than the single rank PCB. Razor says, considering that the XMS2 came with a crosshair and a D-lidded Athlon 64 6000 plus, whoever had this, I think they're scouting for good bins. Yeah, fair play. Fair play, that's a good sign. Got it all for 28 quid, I think. That's a good price. That's a good price for just the board. Alright, you little shit. I'm going to try an intermediate FSB step, just to see if that works. Even though this is probably going to be slower. Oh, come on. I mean, maybe it needs skews or something. It's a good thing it's a BSOD counter and not a failed boot counter, because if it was a failed boot counter it would be a lot higher. no idea what that does. Is there anything I can mess with here? Normally reducing Northbridge GTL ref helps. I'm going to give it even more CPU VTT, more Northbridge core. DRAM should be fine. CPU, CPU PLL helps, doesn't it? Why have they linked CPU PLL with Southbridge core? Well, the Southbridge heatsink doesn't even feel warm, so screw it. Let's just push every fucking voltage, why not? Yeah, that seems reasonable. Come on. Yoz says can't be sold if you never boot. I am living that right now. Yeah. I have hit a wall. I mean, this CPU might just have a wall about here. That might be it. Okay. Actually, let's give that a moment longer. Okay, let's do a sanity check, right? Different board, different chipset says nuke the power. I mean, a different board and chipset might help. I might try and improve the score at some point with a DDR3 board. Like, I've got a couple of Foxconn Black Ops's, so I might break one of those out at some point. Razors says, Mick, you need a cuppa for this. I don't know if you're like me, but I've been up until 3 AM spending 13 hours dialing in the FSB on that crappy bin Q6700. Yeah, I mean, the closest thing I have to a cuppa is this, which is back in stock in Sainsbury's. Hooray! But that's almost empty. I could go and make myself a cup of Bovril. That's tempting. Okay, so sanity check time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to load up the last settings, and then I'm going to drop the memory multiplier. I'm going to drop the core multiplier. And I'm going to see if that works. So we'll just drop that down, drop that. Hold on. What am I doing? Drop that down. Not even touch FSB. All I've done is I've dropped the core ratio and I've dropped the memory ratio. Something unnecessarily largely. Let's try that because that's what I was trying before. So I've changed the core and memory ratios. I've not changed the FSB. Does this work? Wait. Razor says, would a P45 board help? I honestly scout for the best chipset board so that I can blame myself if something doesn't work. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe it doesn't like that memory multiplier. Okay. Nuke the Power says for efficiency I would use X48 plus DDR3. Yep, completely agree. The reason I'm using this board is because I want to revisit my PiFast score potentially in the same stream. So I'll give that a little bit longer. The next sanity check. So what we've discovered is it doesn't like that memory multiplier, which is good to know. The next sanity check is, does it actually boot up the previous settings, or has it decided it doesn't like them? So, load last bootable settings, save and reset. Not touched anything, just load last bootable settings. Aha! Interesting. Alright. Well, that's data. Right. So even at load last bootable, it's actually not booting right now. Interesting. Very interesting. Right. So is there something messed up in those settings? Let's try last bootable, but just really cut down the FSB. Just like way slower FSB. Will that boot up? Okay, that's booting up. Alright. So let's have a look at PC health status now. Right, so none of the temperature things are suggesting that anything's too hot. Not on the face of it, anyway. So now that we've booted 300 FSB, will it now boot 360? Is it a training thing? No. Bastard. Right. Razor says, I can't help but think some business or credit card shaped object balancing on the postcode reader would help with the exposure. I tend to agree. It's like, it doesn't make that big a difference, but clearly it does help. You can see how that, I agree that that is a lot better. Actually, I've got blue tack. I can probably do something about it. Not blue tack rather, but you know, tack. I've got some white tack, so if I take that and then what do I need? I need some cardboard of some sort. What do I have lying around that's cardboard and that I'm willing to destroy? The willing to destroy bit narrows it down. I mean, there's some tape. No. What about this? I have a lot of random boxes lying around, but it's just, what am I willing to rip apart right now so that I can blue tack it on the back of here is the question. You know what, I'm going to pop my headset down And in fact, yeah, I'm going to go and grab something, and I'm going to take the opportunity to run a 30-second ad break, because I'm going to be more than 30 seconds rooting around. So I'll see you in a bit, and take a moment to stretch your legs or something. That's about right, isn't it? All right. We should be back now. So yeah, that ought to work, I think. So what do I need? I need one bit of blue white tack even. So this is a bit of pizza box I've just cut into. Yeah, so one bit of white tack to hold the shape of it. That seems to work. I'm going to run some tape across there as well. Hold on. Where did I leave the narrow tape? There it is. There we go, so I've got some tape wrapped around that now. That should help a lot, so now I just need to tack that in place. Where did I... There's the white tack. White tack does not stick to PCBs very well. Right, come on. You gonna stay on? That seems to be staying on. It's sort of balancing on the camera a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. Let's go with that. Is that actually better? It's not as better as it could be. Hold on. Slightly out of focus as well. I can actually adjust the focus on this webcam. I think that's looks about right. I'm just going to tape it to the fucking webcam. Screw it. There. I think that's reasonably in focus, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, so where were we? Our last bootable setting was proving to be rather less than. Let's try just a little bit less FSB. I'm going to regret spending so much time on this, because like the next thing to do is to break out the single stage phase change. I'm a little bit concerned at the fact that like it did run 360 once and now it's not. Screw it. Let's just try more VTT at 360. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, the board is being a dick. Well, what do I do about that? I mean, 300 worked. We go back to 300. That should work. Yeah. Yeah, aside from the capture card, 300 works. So let's now try just much less aggressive memory settings, because the memory's not actually that heavily tuned. Let's make sure that they boot. Razor says, is it just me or is hearing whiny fans on constant failed startups enough to tick you off too? I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really bother me. Like, I tend not to mind fan noise because I feel like it's kind of a fact of overclocking. And it's also, it's like audible feedback as to what the board is doing. I have a slower fan that I could use for the mem, and you wouldn't be able to hear that as much, but it wouldn't be moving as much air. It annoys me when a fan is like rubbing or something, so like it's making an annoying noise but also it's not for any good reason. That annoys me. Alright. 330. Really? How has it gone from liking 360 to not liking 330? Ugh. This is taking me off no end. Ugh. Shouldn't need like even more VTT, but like I don't know what the hell else it could be, unless 1.45 volts has somehow like degraded the fucking north bridge. Or the brief shot of higher voltage that I tried, to be completely fair. Yeah, I mean that's one possibility, is that just trying to boot at higher north bridge voltage has damaged it, but like shouldn't, not that quickly. If it's degraded the north bridge in some way, then maybe more north bridge voltage will make it start working again. Or at least will make it boot, rather. No, okay, well that's sort of weirdly encouraging. Ugh. I am just about out of ideas here. There I was saying how much I liked this motherboard, how easy it was to work with. And suddenly it's not booting anywhere near what it was booting before. Okay, the other thing that I could do is I could try loading optimized defaults, and then rather than... That's not cleared CMOS properly. Rather than loading previous settings, which maybe there's something weird in there, maybe I just set manually. That might work. Like, go back through the process again rather than trying to load it like an old profile. And at this stage, that's got to be quicker than like trying and bashing my head against a wall. So let's do that. I'll explicitly load optimize defaults, save and exit. And let's go through the entire BIOS. There's nothing to worry on about here, is there? No. I wonder if changing that to off would make numlock actually... Let's find out. Because at the moment it boots up without numlock. No, that makes no difference at all. Okay, well, whatever. I'll leave it on in that case. Right. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know this board has HPET as an option. That's kind of cool. So I guess this board is compatible with Benchmade. That might be fun to do something with at some point. Right, CPU feature. Disable, 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 disable. Leave that. Memory. Let's leave it at 55515. That should be nice and easy, right? Voltage. I think we're doing a big offset. I think it was like plus 300, which should be fine for these chips. VTT, that was 1.31. Memory, let's push 2.3. Northbridge Core, 1.45. Alright. So this is, other than the more relaxed memory timings and lower memory voltage, this is about what I was doing before. I'm also going to set an OC fail retry counter. So hopefully that's going to kick me back into BIOS if it doesn't work, and I'll still have the settings. No, it's behaving exactly as it was before. Fuck's sake. Right. I don't want to call a stream on like a downer, but also I want streams to be fun, and watching something not work repeatedly isn't fun. And yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. I'm going to call it early, and I still need to do that bloody PyFast revisit. I'll try to do that when I can. Yeah, I'll see how things go. I've got family in the area visiting, but I'll try and stream again as soon as possible. But I need to figure this out off stream, because this sort of isn't fun anymore, frankly. I'm sorry, I don't like to call it like that, but that's how it's going. So yeah, thank you for watching, but I'm afraid it's an early... No luck, I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's an early end today, because I don't think this is fun to watch. I'm going to have to bash my head against this wall off stream for a bit after having a bit of a break. And I'll stream again as soon as I can, when I get a chance. So, yeah, thank you for watching, but I think this is it. So, yes, even though it's only been a couple of hours, goodbye for now. And, yeah, post up in identifying RAM, and if you want to try and beat the score that I did get, then hop on into the Discord and post it in the score posting channel, and I'll add it to the leaderboard. Yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.